Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to cover non-proportional relationships. Our learning targets for today are I can graph an equation that represents a non-proportional relationship, and I can write an equation that represents a non-proportional relationship. Non-proportional relationships are relationships between two quantities when the ratio is not constant. So when I take my y value and divide it by my x value, I change by different quantities for each set of ordered pairs that I have. A graph of a non-proportional relationship does not pass through the origin. Instead, it passes through a point called the y-intercept. So if I have a coordinate plane and a graph, my y-intercept is this point here where I'm passing through the y-axis where my x value is 0. So every y-intercept point will have an x value of 0. Now looking at this sample problem, in her search for a gym, Hillary found a location that charges $10 as a one-time sign-up fee and $20 each month. Use this information to complete the table and the graph. So here for our months, that's going to be our independent variable because time does not change, and our cost will be dependent on the amount of months that we go to the gym, so that will be our y. Now if I don't go to the gym at all, they will charge me $10. So 20 times 0 plus 10 will be a total cost of $10. Now, if I go to the gym for 1 month, I'd be charged $20 for the month, plus that original sign-up fee that I've already paid of $10, which would give me a total cost of $30. If I go for 2 months, that's 20 times 2, plus that original sign-up fee of $10, so $50. 3 months, I would have $70. 4 months would be $90. And then if I go for X amount of months, so I don't know how many months I'm going, but I'm going to continue to go, that X value can change. So we'll call it X. So 20 times X plus 10 would be my total cost. Because if I want to go for, let's say, 10 months, I can make X 10. If I want to go for 15 months, I can make X 15. What's my slope or rate of change in the table? So the change that I am going from each month is that cost that the company charges me per month of $20 per month. So my slope is $20. The y-intercept, remember the y-intercept is my starting point. So if I go for no months, they charge me $10. They don't charge me this $10 each month. They only charge it at the beginning. My table's not proportional because my ratios of y to x are not the same because of that original starting point of $10. Notice if I go for 1 month, that's 30 over 1. That's not equal to me going 2 months of 50 over 2. 30 over 1 is 30, where 50 over 2 is 25. This is not the same ratio, therefore my table is not proportional. Looking at this in a graph as well, if I plot these points, I would be at 0, 10 for my first point. If I go for 1 month, I'm charged $30, 2 months, $50, 3 months, $70, 4 months, $90, and etc. and so forth. If I were to graph this, I start at 10 on my y-axis and go up by 20. Notice this is not a proportional graph because I don't start at the origin. So my slope is the same as my table, which was 20. My y-intercept is where my graph passes the y-axis, which was 10. And then again, I'm not proportional because I don't go through the origin. Now looking at the equation of a non-proportional relationship, we can write these in the form y equals mx plus b, also known as slope-intercept form, because the m is my slope and the b is my y-intercept. Now looking at a few examples where I want to identify my slope, my y-intercept, and whether or not they're proportional, again, y equals mx plus b is my slope-intercept form. M, the number attached to my x, is my slope, and b, the number being added or subtracted to my x, is my y-intercept. So looking at number 1, the number attached to my x is -4. That's my slope. The number being added is 9. That's my y-intercept, or my starting point. Since I have a starting point, this would not be a proportional equation. Number 2, my slope, my m value, is 3/4. My y-intercept is -8. I'm not proportional again because I have a starting point. And number 3, I have y equals 1.25x, so my slope is 1.25. I don't have anything being added or subtracted to my x, so my y-intercept is 0, which would tell me my equation is proportional. Now looking at number 4, Caroline is going to the state fair with a group of friends. It costs her $12 for admission, and once she is inside the fair, she can buy tickets for 75 cents each in order to play games, purchase food, or go on rides. Write an equation to represent the relationship between the total cost y and the amount of tickets x she buys. So her total cost y will be equal to how much she is paying per game, per food, or per ride. Since we know this is 75 cents each, we'll say this is 0.75x. Then they charge her a one-time fee of getting into the fair of $12. So her total cost will equal 75 cents times x plus 12. The slope is 75 cents because every game or food item or ride that she goes on, it will cost her 75 cents. And then what is the y-intercept? That's the starting point, which was $12. And then a graph of this relationship would look something like this. She would start on the y-intercept of 12, and then her slope would be increasing by 75 cents for every one value of x. So she would go up 3 y spaces and over 4 x spaces. In today's lesson, we learned non-proportional relationships do not have a constant ratio of y to x, and equations of non-proportional relationships are written as y equals mx plus b. That's a wrap on today's video. We'll see you in the next one.